Hello everyone, my name is Ishita. My presentation today is on the application of the three learning theories: behavioral, cognitive, and social or sociocultural theory. The aim is to understand how the three theories can be applied into real-life classrooms. I'll discuss the episode for each of the three learning theories, analyzing how it fits and explaining why the theory provides the best framework. Overview of the three learning theories. We will begin from behavioral learning theory. Behavioral theory highlights that learning occurs when there is a change in behavior resulting from the environment and not through the thinking process. The main idea for behavioral theory includes positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement is rewarding or praising a good behavior so that it is repeated. For example, rewarding students with a prize for maintaining a good behavior throughout the year, or praising students such as using words good, well done, or great when they give correct answers. The second key point is punishment. Punishment is to discourage the unwanted behavior from students. For example, if a teacher gives punishment like asking students to do duty when they arrive late to school, will encourage the student to come early next time. The other point is conditioning. Conditioning is learning through rewards and punishment both. For example, a student studies hard to get a reward from the teacher or avoid from getting less marks as a punishment. This helps students to shape their behavior by connecting their actions with their experiences. Now we will move on to the cognitive learning theory. Cognitive learning theory focuses on how people think, understand, and remember information. Cognitive theory is unlike behavioral theory that focuses on the behavior. The key idea for cognitive theory include mental processes. Mental processes is organizing information in the mind when we think, learn, and understand things. For example, in our class discussion, our brain pays attention to focus and to recall ideas and give answers. The second key point is problem solving. Problem solving includes critical thinking, evaluating the problem, and finding ways to solve it. For example, calculating profit in accounting. It requires students to think carefully, find the cost and the cost of goods sold in order to calculate the profit amount. And the other point is metacognition. Metacognition is thinking about your own thinking. For example, I know I understand maths by practicing the activities. Now we will move on to the social or socio-cultural learning theory. The This occurs through interacting with the people within the cultural environment. The key ideas includes cultural tools. Cultural tools help learners perform tasks that they couldn't do alone. For example, learning addition using sticks and asking for the teacher's help as well. The other point is scaffolding. Scaffolding is step-by-step guidance given until the students can do it on their own. For example, giving step-by-step information on how to draw a hexagon unless and until the student can draw it by themselves. The other key point is interaction. Interaction is communicating with teachers and peers or knowledgeable people. For example, in a group work, teachers and students they interact and they give their ideas using tools like languages, gestures, and teamwork. Moving on to the learning episodes, we will start from the behavioral learning episode. This is from my own experience from primary school. When I was in primary school, our teacher used to give us stickers in order to encourage us to do the homework correctly. And if the homeworks were not done, punishment were given, like students were asked to do the classroom duty or pick up rubbish. The behavioral learning theory was successful as rewards encouraged students to repeat with the good behavior, and the punishment discouraged the students from the unwanted behaviors. The aim of the teacher was to help students learn correctly and maintain good behavior, which was obtained. Moving on to the cognitive learning episode. This is also from my own experience from the topic algebra in year 8. We were given algebraic equation which required critical thinking and problem solving skills. The activity helped us to develop these skills. For example, from the textbook, we used to see the examples and understand the concept and solve the problems. So this helped us to develop critical thinking and problem solving skills. The experience from solving a algebraic equation illustrates that effective learning occurs when it involves thinking processes rather than just memorizing. Social or sociocultural learning episode. My experience of sociocultural theory was when I was in year 7. We were asked to prepare a poster for library day in our group. While preparing the poster, ideas from group members were given. Each members were given tasks to perform, and the teacher was also guiding the group. This helped to develop teamwork and interacting skills. The experience made me realize that learning becomes more successful when we have more knowledgeable people who are experienced, like our teachers and peers. The aim of the teacher was to encourage teamwork within the cultural environment, and it was obtained. Moving on to the analysis of the theories, behavioral analysis. From my experience, reinforcement encourages all students to continue with their good behavior. According to Skinner, learning happens when there is a connection between what happens, the stimulus, and how a person reacts, the response. If a reaction is followed by a reward or positive outcome, people are more likely to do it again. The structure of the classroom encouraged behavioral learning. As the teacher's instructions were clear and straightforward, students knew what they were required from the teacher. The aim of the theory is to memorize and develop procedural skills through repetition and reinforcement. Moving to the cognitive analysis. The cognitive episode helped to develop schema, which means using our own knowledge to learn new things. For example, from my experience, I used the existing knowledge I had on solving simple arithmetic equation to solve the complex algebraic equation. The structure of the classroom supported cognitive learning as it allowed students to think carefully and relate new things to their own understanding. Scaffolding was also used as The teacher guided the students by practicing examples until the students were able to understand the concept on their own. According, according to Brunner, students learn better by discovering things on their own through problem solving. Cognitive theory is good for understanding concept because it focuses on how the mind thinks, remembers, and connects ideas. It helps students to build on what they already know, making learning more meaningful and long-lasting. Social or sociocultural analysis. From my experience, I came to know that students learn best through communication and teamwork because they share their ideas, solve problems together, and learn from each other's experience. Uh, from my experience, while we were preparing the poster, students were actively participating. Each like the group members were giving their own ideas, and we were able to prepare a good poster with so many ideas. Vygotsky's zone of proximal development focuses on the gap between what a student can do alone and they what they can do with the help of their teachers and peers. Learning strengthens when students work together in a social and culturally meaningful context. To conclude, each theory has its own purposes. For example, behavioral is learning through rewards, repetition, and practices. Cognitive is learning through understanding, thinking, and connecting ideas. And social cultural is learning through interaction and collaboration within the cultural context. So as teachers, we should choose specific learning theories to achieve specific learning outcomes. For example, if we want to improve our students' behavior, we should focus on a behavioral learning theory. And if we want to develop students' thinking, critical thinking skill, problem solving skills, we should focus on cognitive learning theory. And to promote social or sociocultural learning theory, we should encourage group work so that students can implement new ideas and they can learn from other people's experience. Together, they support learners' overall development, behaviorally, mentally, and socially. So, these are the sources that I referred to while preparing the presentation. Thank you.